We have a lot of builds being upgraded right now, and an awful lot of items in our open request list. So, we're going to be pretty busy this episode, I reckon. We have Koa out upgrading our hospital to tier 2 or tier 3 for us at the moment. It is getting upgraded to tier 3, and he is requesting in a few difficult items here. The chiseled stone bricks are a stonemason item. The golden apple is a blacksmith or restaurant item. Honeycomb is our apiary, which we don't have. And the white concrete is from our concrete mixer's hut. So 3/4 of that is absolutely fine for me to then sort out for them. The honeycomb, on the other hand, that's something we will need to deal with. Although I am pretty sure by default that our concrete mixer's hut should know how to make white concrete by themselves. Yes, they do. And in fact, if they even have some sand, gravel and white dye, they can make the white concrete powder to then turn that into the white concrete itself. So, why is that on the open request list then, Mario? I have no idea why that is on the list then, if he knows how to make all of those things, but I will check up on it in a second. Let's go teach the golden apple recipe then to the blacksmith. At least that was a nice easy recipe to teach. Right, just the honeycombs left. And I do see some bees just across the way from our flower place, so let's head over to them and see if we can get ourselves a nest. Hello chaps, my little bee obsession continues even on another playthrough. Right, where is your nest, and why don't you go into it and you can come back to the colony then with me? Their nest is just there, and unfortunately that one left, but maybe his friend will go into it. Excellent, let's quickly pick that up and we'll take that back with us. Maybe with another bee or two actually. And that will be our honey then sorted for us, once these bees gather up some more of it. Excellent. I believe that Jalia is upgrading one of the courier huts here, which one I'm not sure about, but she is just awaiting in a birch button, which is a sawmill item, and an empty map for it. The birch button is simple enough so long as our sawmill here has enough recipe slots, which it doesn't, so we will need to go to the overflow one for that. Which that of course is a nice simple recipe, but as for the empty map, we need paper and a compass to make it, but there's no build suggestion for it. A compass is usually a mechanic's hut item, so I will try it. Failing that, I will try the plantation because they deal with paper, and unfortunately it was neither build, so I'm going to need to make one up here. I will request a compass in, and then I'll get some paper coming in here as well. In fact, that's another thing that I will need to deal with here quickly, and that is teaching the plantation build how to make us paper. I did see that we have a worker in it who is already growing us some sugarcane, which is good. We have Samir, and I will just simply teach this build how to make paper from the sugarcane then. At least that is a nice easy recipe for them. They should be able to make paper extra here as well. White paper extra, maybe? Brilliant. Riley is upgrading our house here within the cave system to tier 3 at the moment, and for it, I don't think she's really requesting in that many items. These framed paper extra items should no longer be an issue for our colony to make, thanks to the plantation now knowing the recipe for paper extra. And the rest of the items here are just your basic spruce items actually. Okay, nicely done then, Riley. I will leave you to it. Now we are getting into the two troublemakers with Ellison and Mariah, of which I'm going to go to the easier of the two with Mariah. And she is upgrading yet another courier's hut around here. Again, which one I'm not entirely sure about. But for it, she requires a birch pressure plate, which is a mechanic item, light grey banner, which is a Fletcher item, and a melon, which I will need to grow the melon for them because I'm pretty sure that we don't have the farms growing them yet, but that's no issue. As for these other items though, well, they're also not really an issue. Well, in saying that, actually, the pressure plate is going to be an issue here because our mechanics recipe list is full. Right, I'll remove the heavy weighted pressure one at the moment and we'll add on the birch pressure plate, I think it was. Yes, the birch one's there. I will deal with the melon, but what I will do at the moment is upgrade the mechanics hut to tier 2, and one of our builders will come out to do that for us, just to give it some more recipe slots. The next problem I then have is, do we have any melon seeds kicking about the colony? I assume we have no melons, but maybe if we have some melon seeds, that would be good. We do indeed. We have 17 of them. Perfect. And what I am going to do with them actually is start getting them planted here within the stacks. I do want these field stacks eventually just being full of wheat for Opal to basically just deal with wheat. But at least for the moment, I will get her coming out to do some melon seeds for us. And at least that will then be all future melon issues then sorted for us. Have they trapped you in here, pal? That's tremendous. Right then, Opal, take that hoe that I was going to use and take the melon seeds and get to it. That is our honey then ready for us, and let me just double check it is honeycomb, which it is, so let me grab some of that, chaps, thank you very much. On to the final builder then, with Ellison and her rather irritating build, which is the glassblowers build to tier 3. And boy, is there a lot of items that go towards this. Holy crap. Well, I think we will take it in turns to just deal with all of the items she's requesting at the moment, rather than fulfilling everything that she needs. There's a few things here that we will need to sort out for them, starting with a magma block, which is at least nice and simple to get. Well, relatively simple to get. Then we will look into making some orange wool stairs, which I really have no idea what build to teach that to. The shepherd or the sawmill? Or is that another case similar to the dirt stairs where it's a mechanics build? Let's go up and check. Not that this build has any free recipe slots to teach new recipes to, but I will still come in and check. Unless it's an architect's cutter recipe, of course, that would be handy, which I think it is. Just not to the mechanics hut. And that was Jalia then completing the courier's hut that she was working on, which is none of the ones around here. I think it was this one here that she was working on. So that's not too bad. That's now up to tier 3. This is a medieval birch alternative courier's hut. The orange wool stairs wasn't a shepherd or a sawmill item. The Fletcher is the only remaining one I think could maybe be it. Orange wool then, and yep, A Fletcher's build item. Interesting. There's a few stonemason items on the list, which I will just very quickly teach to our stonemason, so long as it has recipe slots. And the final items on the list, at least for the moment, are some black stained glass panels and fancy white stained glass doors, which are recipes that I can hopefully then teach to the glassblower themselves. Which they both are here. That's the white fancy stained glass door recipe, which I can teach to this build, but I will need to double check that we have someone who can make orange terracotta for us, which should be a stonemason and stone smeltery combo. Let's go to sleep quick and then I will go teach those recipes. We will teach the stone smeltery how to just melt clay into terracotta to begin with. Then next door I hopefully will be able to teach the recipe to make the orange terracotta from that, which I can't. That may be a dyer's hut only item. So I will need to make that up by hand, at least until we do get that dyer's hut up, which is irritating. I hate having to do anything. We will get our dyer's hut up once we get our flower shop up to tier 3 here. And I've seen that Jalia hasn't yet picked up a new job, so she will come out and upgrade this florist to tier 2 at least for us. Oh, and I've just noticed some melons growing here, so that will be Mariah sorted. The hospital build is literally now just awaiting on the golden apple, which the colony really should have made up by now. Madison, what's happening here with that? She has the golden ingots in stock, but probably doesn't have the apple. I can go quickly get an apple, that's no issue. I'm surprised the lumberjack actually hasn't found any apples. In fact, let me just double check. He doesn't seem to have done, but if I get rid of those or those... Any apples? No? I am pretty sure that we will have apples somewhere within the colony. Yup, one right here in this warehouse for the industry district. You chaps are just being absolutely lazy. Alright then, Koa, take your golden apple in, and hopefully that is then everything you require for the hospital, which it is. And I've seen that Jalia is already 97% supplied for the flower shop. These items there should be within a warehouse somewhere, so the colony will deliver that to her. And our other builders are just slowly getting on with their builds. So not too bad at all here today then. Thank you very much for the tier 3 hospital upgrade there, Koa. But more of the same next time then. We still have a mountain's worth of upgrades to go here.